Hi everyone, here we are at AIBC in the Media Lounge, and it is my pleasure to be interviewing Dr. Samir Al-Ansari, who is the CEO of Ras Al Khaimah Digital Assets Oasis. So much is happening in Ras Al Khaimah. It really is such an integral part, I think, of the Middle East adopting into this more digital age. So how is RAK DAO being very pivotal in all of that?
When RAK DAO was created, there were two things that were topmost in our thinking. One was about Ras Al Khaimah and kind of let's say, a diversification play for the economy of Ras Al Khaimah, away from the traditional industry, manufacturing, tourism, and so on. But second, it was to create a solution that would be complementary to everything else that's happening in the UAE. So the UAE has been very proactive in the blockchain and Web3 space. A lot of countries pushed back. A lot of countries didn't want to know. A lot of countries kind of put a block on the whole space. And the UAE took a different approach, starting with Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and then Ras Al Khaimah, adding this kind of complementary solution to what everybody else was doing. So Dubai and Abu Dhabi focused on the regulated activities, right? On the VASPs, virtual asset service providers, licenses for the regulated activities, and so on. We said, look, this space is way bigger than that. Whether it's Web3, whether it's blockchain, whether it's AI, and everything that happens around technology to support that space is way more than that. And they don't all need a regulated license per se, which are expensive, takes a long time to get them, and continuous support and cost and so on and so forth. So that's how RAK DAO was created, to bring together a set of activities that spoke the language of the startups, creators, and so on of these businesses. And more importantly, what is going to differentiate us from everybody else, and what has been already a key factor in our success so far, is creating the ecosystem. Most fee zones, they give you a license and they say, see you in a year's time when you come back to renew the license, and we will be chasing you to renew the license. We've taken a different approach. We don't sell licenses, we sell packages. We give you a package that provides all of the support that the ecosystem partners that we've onboarded and continue to onboard actually helps you to be successful. So whether that's legal advice, access to bank accounts, ecosystem partners that are helping you, whether it's your white paper, whether it's cybersecurity, whether it's tokenomics, etc., etc., etc. And this year, our focus is going to be more on accelerators, incubators, and the access to funding for these companies.
That's amazing, because rather than putting restrictions on it and as it being a decentralized industry, it's actually a really nice approach to take of having a DAO rather than just implementing regulation, which does put structure and, as you say, a lot of like financial pressure on some of these companies and regulatory strain. It's difficult to stick to certain limits within this industry, and it's forever growing. So I think taking that flexible approach is actually such an amazing thing to do. And is there any future plans to have some form of regulation behind it, or are you going to continue this kind of DAO structure?
No, it's a very, very good question. So it's about getting the balance right. Easier said than done, of course. So if you are too strict with your regulations, you're going to keep everybody away. If you're too open, you're going to invite trouble. So we think we've got the balance right, because if you need if you're conducting activities that are considered virtual asset service providers, exchanges, brokers, custodians, and so on, you know where to go. If you're doing other activities that don't need such a license, you can come to us. That doesn't mean we don't have regulations, but we have a lot more flexible regulations. Adding to that is the fact that we will continue to add certain products that are required in this industry that are closer to regulations and maybe less unregulated. So I'll give you an example, DARE, as we like to call it. So decentralized autonomous organizations need a legal wrapper. It's been a challenge all over the world. We finally rolled exactly that product a few months ago. And so in the UAE, you can create a DAO and a legal wrapper that allows the members of the DAO to operate with security and safety, knowing that they are operating within a great jurisdiction like the UAE and have a legal wrapper around their DAO. And we will continue to come up with new activities, new solutions. A license for AI agents is something we rolled out 3 weeks ago. So that's all the rage. And getting that right again is not easy, but it again provides more solutions to the wider industry to be coming to a great jurisdiction like the UAE.
Yeah, I think people don't appreciate how new the industry is, and also all these new advancements that are constantly happening. You mentioned AI agents. This is something we've only really been discussing for a couple of years, and you very quickly need to adjust and think, how are we making this work? How do we add structure? And that is difficult. So what have you found being those difficulties along this journey, and how do you think it's best to kind of actually work with them and help to get over them?
Yeah, great question. So personally, I'm new to the industry. My whole career has been investment banking, private equity, so on and so forth, not this space. And for me, before really getting engaged in this space, it was a lack of understanding, frankly. So one of our biggest challenges is to educate the masses on what is crypto, what is blockchain, what's the difference between the two, and why are there great solutions that are coming through this technology. Think of it as technology. Think of internet 25 years ago as technology, and Web3 and blockchain and so on as the new technology. So it's demystifying that is, I think, one of the biggest challenges. Showing more, demonstrating more real life, real situation, real use cases of the technology is very, very important, because the more people use it, the more people understand it, the more they will want to use it, and it'll continue to grow. And I think we're getting there. So 2 years ago, it was tougher. A year ago, it was maybe less tough. Now it's even better, and so on and so forth. So I think those are the biggest challenges. It's the opposite actually of what should be. It's about transparency. It's about all the things that actually Web3 and blockchain provides. People think of them as opposite to what they actually really are. So it's about education at the end of the day. Make sure they understand that this is what this technology provides, and then there will be more adoption.
And we are all kind of ultimately case studies behind what's happening. It's very difficult when it is so new to do things the right way, because it hasn't been done before. And that's what RAK DAO is doing. They're actually shaping things in a different way than the most of the UAE and the rest of the world, which is really exciting, actually, because this could be the leading case study of how things need to be adapted and adopted. So in terms of that, what is the future of RAK DAO? How do you see it progressing? Let's say in a shorter time frame, I think in a couple of years, what is the ultimate plan?
So I think the UAE has been a case study about many things, frankly, and this is one of them. And I've been here 37 years, and I'm still in awe, because it's just been an incredible journey and continues to get better and better. I think going forward for this particular space, there is a drive towards more globalization, more adoption, and therefore perhaps more alignment. And of course, that is not easy, but as more countries, Europe, the US, and so on, open up to crypto, blockchain, there needs to be some alignment at some point. Back to AI, and I think integration of AI into blockchain is a must. I think for blockchain, it is very important, because blockchain can certainly be left behind. So that integration is really important. For me, one of the key themes is tokenization. And that also addresses the point I made earlier about real life uses. So imagine if we can tokenize real estate, and the word always escapes me, but makes it easier for everybody, whether they're a millionaire or there's somebody who literally just wants to put 1,000 dirhams a month into real estate to have access to that asset class, etc., etc. So I think tokenization of real world assets and giving access to everybody is a difficult one, because everybody's been talking about it for years, and getting there has been a challenge. But I think this year might be a game changer.
Again, Ras Al Khaimah, for those of you that don't know, has so much potential in terms of real estate and developing the region. And I do think, I think that's actually a great idea, especially when we talk about digital assets and volatility. Actually, something like the real estate market is something that has that potential stability. You can't say it has, but it can provide that for people. So it would be something really exciting to tokenize. And I do think like a smaller region like Ras Al Khaimah, again, again is a case study of how it can work and how it can grow a region. So
that's absolutely right. I see us potentially as the sandbox for making that happen, because if we can control it, and maybe it's Marjan Island and everything on Marjan Island can be tokenized, that would be a start. And if we can make it work there, then one can take it wider.
This is so exciting. I can't wait to hopefully interview you next year and see what the progression has. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of progression. This space moves so quickly. Thank you so much for joining me for this interview. Thank you. Amazing.